All right, so I'm Fred Breglia. I'm the director for the Landis Arboretum, and folks know me locally as, or regionally, I guess you'd say, as the Tree Man. I've been on WAMC radio, doing a talk show for 18 plus years. Been looking for big trees for a really long time. Trees are they're at the forefront of Landis Arboretum. Our mission is to foster the appreciation of trees and other plants and their importance in our environment, and we accomplish that through education mostly, and also on-site signage and trails. And we do a lot of, like I said, a lot of programs geared towards that. Um, I started big tree hunting probably back in the early or mid '90s, and at one point had a lot of state and national champions under my name. Found a lot of those in Schoharie County. It's big tree hunting to a lot of people might say, how many people really do this, but it's more competitive than people realize. There's a lot of big tree hunters out across the country and across the globe. So it's a worldwide sort of passion that's shared by professionals like myself, who was a certified arborist and studied trees, went to college for trees, got degrees in plant science, became a certified arborist back in '99. But it's also a bunch of amateurs, people that just have a lot of passion, and sometimes young, sometimes old. A lot of retirees have picked this up after their career main career ended, and some of them look at this as a second career. But we do have some champions, including a state champion devil's walking stick here at the Arboretum. Not all big trees are big from a perspective of a visual. So the state champion devil's walking stick, and it's a native plant, but more down south or west than around our area. But this one was planted by Fred Lape, the founder of the Landis Arboretum, back in '51. And like I said, it's the largest in the state, but it's probably not much more than 6 inches in diameter, 7 inches in diameter. So a relatively small tree. So some small trees can be big, and some big trees can be small. But a lot of times they are indeed huge. In Schoharie County, there's a lot of really big trees on private land. One of the things that Cass and I talked about was, could we put together kind of here's all the big trees in the county and have public come and view them. And although you can do that with some of the big trees, a good chunk of them are on private lands. And the state registers only native species. It follows the national big tree registry. So there's a national registry, and New York State follows the exact protocol that they use to define what trees they'll actually accept into the database and to the registry. And natives are at this point what we follow and what the national follows. But that being said, so we're not tracking non-natives, but there are some really big non-natives in the county as well, including one of the larger weeping willow trees, possibly in the nation. But again, that's from Asia, not a native, so it's not tracked on any kind of official database. But we've got an incredible diversity of big trees, including a lot of big oaks that grow in Schoharie County. So I'd like to say, if you think our trees are big, wait till you see our veggies. We've got great soils. There are places in the county where they say the topsoil could be as deep as 20 feet in the valley and in the floodplains and stuff. And it produces big trees, and a lot of them have been lost. So it's, why do we do what we do? Well, part of it is, preserving the past for the future. So many big trees have been removed because of logging or, land clearing or development. Climate change plays a role too. So, um, so we sort of, in a lot of ways, I think, document the past for the future. But we also use big trees as a way to advocate for people to get involved with trees and be maybe more interested in nature. And one of the ways I got involved with plants was because of a big tree. My my mom told us stories of this great oak tree that was up behind our house, my childhood home, and I was the youngest in my family, so I was always heard these stories of how my mom and my siblings all held hands and couldn't touch around this giant oak tree. And when I got old enough to take the hike with her, it's a couple of miles up a pretty steep ridge, up a pretty steep climb to the top of a ridge where this oak tree grew and grows, still there today. and overlooks the Beards Hollow up in Richardville. And when I took that hike with her, that first hike, I had an idea of how big this tree would be, and it was pretty big. And when I saw the tree, it was way bigger than I thought. It had blown my mind. And then my mom went on to say things about how the land all around it was cleared and cut, and then this tree was selectively left there over the years. And that also was a very profound impact, because I couldn't believe that all the land was cleared. Now, as a professional arborist, I know that that's the case. I guess it planted a seed, and pun intended. And I went on to study plants in the future, and became the tree man. Now I run Landis Arboretum, and I've been here 28 years.